The shortage of money in the United States is becoming quite severe, and many people are deeply concerned about where this will take us. However, if you do not do business regularly or deal with coins, you may not even know that this is happening. On Monday, my wife said that many people on Facebook were talking about the shortage of money across the country, and then on Tuesday, Ricky Scaparo wrote some news about it, so I decided to look at it better. Because if this shortage of money pushes us towards a cashless society, it really makes it a big deal. What I found is that this monetary shortage has actually intensified for a few weeks on June the 11th. The Federal Reserve has released a statement. They announced that the coin rate will begin on June the 15th. Consequently, effective Monday, June the 15th, Reserve banks and Federal Reserve coin distribution locations began allocating coin inventories. To ensure a fair and equitable distribution of existing coin inventory to all depository institutions. Effective June the 15th, the Federal Reserve banks and their coin distribution locations began to allocate available supplies of pennies, nickels, dimes, and quarters to depository institutions as a temporary measure. The temporary coin allocation methodology is based on historical order, volume by coin denomination and depository institution endpoint, and current United States mint production levels. Order limits are unique by coin denomination and are the same across all Federal Reserve coin distribution locations. Limits will be reviewed and potentially revised based on national receipt levels, inventories, and mint production. It turns out that the ratio is much stricter than many people originally predicted. A small bank in Tennessee that will normally use 400 to 500 roll pennies per week is now giving only 100 rolls per week. It was just a surprise, said Gay Dempsey, who runs the Bank of Lincoln County in Tennessee. When she learned of the rationing order, nobody was expecting it. Dempsey's bank typically dispenses 400 to 500 rolls of pennies each week. Under the rationing order, her allotment was cut down to just 100 rolls with similar cutbacks in nickels, dimes, and quarters. All types of businesses rely on their banks to provide the change they need for their customers, and now many of these businesses are forced to make major changes due to this money shortage. In fact, some businesses across the country are reported to be starting to put signs asking their customers to pay with a full change or with a card. First to go were masks, then toilet paper, and now there's a national coin shortage. The 7-Eleven on Oakwood Ave has a sign asking customers to pay in exact change or by card. According to the First News, now Facebook, several residents across Tioga County, Pennsylvania, mentioned that there is a coin shortage throughout the area. Some businesses like Lowe's in Mansfield, Pennsylvania, have posted signs in their stores to inform their customers before they check out with their purchases. The local 7-Eleven on Oakwood Ave in Elmira Heights is running into the same issue. The franchise of this location, Karen Gordon, said they have had to call every day to get coins. The National Reserve is unable to make coins at this time, so all the banks have been getting short of coin, said Gordon. So at this point, we are having to call daily to get coin. The most we have been able to get is $122. Gordon said her 7-Eleven had a sign warning customers to pay with exact cash or by card since last Thursday. She also says the community has been trying to help her store by bringing some change for them. and I was surprised to hear that money was temporarily banned in major self-paying ways. Cash temporarily will not be accepted at major self-checkout lanes due to a national shortage of coins. Customers who want to pay with bills will have to visit major stuffed checkout lanes for the time being, according to a company's statement. The change is in effect at most of Grand Rapids-based retail giants 250 supercenters. Hopefully, this shortage of money will start to decrease when this coronavirus pandemic starts to fade, but there's currently no indication that this pandemic will soon disappear anytime soon. The mainstream media tells us that the pandemic has deteriorated and the number of new cases reported worldwide has increased over the past few weeks. Since the beginning of this epidemic, using cash has been said to be potentially dangerous because it could possibly spread the virus. It comes from an article by Claudia Grass below. Even in the early stages of the pandemic, when essentially nothing was concretely known about the virus itself or its transmission, the seeds of new fears were already planted by sensational media reports and fear-mongering political and institutional figures. The insidious idea that you can catch COVID through cash might have been prematurely spread, but it did stick in most people's minds. This is, of course, understandable, given the extremely high levels of uncertainty and anxiety in the general public. Wanting to eliminate potential threats was a natural instinct, and so was the urge to take back at least some control over our lives. After they were being suddenly thrown into utter chaos in the wake of the global economic freeze. Another factor that concretely helped the shift away from physical cash was an entirely practical one. Given the lockdown measures and the new social distancing directives that were enforced all over the world, it became difficult to use cash, even if you really wanted to or had no other means of transaction, as is the case for billions of people, with physical stores being forced to shut down, and with more and more online shops offering contactless delivery, either as a choice or as a service requirement. The need for cash very quickly gave way to digital payments. Of course, central banks around the world have been promoting the use of digital payments for a very long time, so this epidemic gave them a golden opportunity to speed up this agenda. There is always a lot of resistance to the idea of a cashless system here in the United States, but some countries in Europe, such as Sweden, are almost completely shattered with cash at this point, and China is shifting towards the cashless direction at a breathtaking pace. Many people who love the speed and efficiency of cashless payments, but what people need to understand is that a purely cashless system allows governments and financial institutions to follow us and control them like never before. It is often called cash means freedom, and a complete elimination of physical money will still be a major blow to anyone who loves freedom. Unfortunately, the whole world has been steadily moving in a cashless direction for years, and this epidemic gave cash opponents a window of opportunity to push us down even faster on this path.
Dear Daily News Report viewers, you can find other videos by clicking on the top right button. We recommend watching, subscribing, and sharing. Thanks in advance.
Most of the idea, comment, information, and criticism containing in these videos have been created by Daily News Report. Before making any important investment decision, use the information contained in these videos as a starting point for conducting your own research. If you make any investment or legal decision, it is advised to consult an expert before making this decision.